It has been a stunning few hours. Here at the Republican State Convention, Republicans are trying to move forward after Aaron.
All right, and after a recent cooler than normal stretch, we will be trending milder over the weekend. So far this year, we've hit 91s already in the Hartford area. We could add to this tally over the next 7 days. Much more on how high temperatures go, all ahead in the First Alert forecast.
Now, Channel 3 Eyewitness News begins with breaking news.
And we start right now on this Friday night at 5 with that breaking news. The I-Team has learned the interim chancellor of the state colleges and university system sent sexually explicit messages to another employee.
Now, he resigned late last month after learning he was under investigation for the alleged harassment. And the I-Team has been on top of this story since the very beginning.
And right now, your chief investigative reporter, Sam Smink, is joining us with the late breaking details. Sam.
Records requested by the I-Team show even before he was named interim chancellor in 2025, John Maduco sent what CSCU investigators call, quote, inappropriate and sexually suggestive messages to this employee over 2 years. In a letter explaining their investigation, CSCU investigators say they are looking into then interim chancellor John Maduco for creating a hostile environment through harassment. An employee told investigators Maduco, quote, engaged in inappropriate, persistent, and often sexualized communication through text and in person from May 2024 through April 2026. In a February 2025 text, Maduco texted the employee telling her she had a, quote, big expletive, ... braid of yours, which investigators say she took as an inappropriate sexualized reference to her physical appearance and specifically her buttocks. A month later, the employee said Maduco repeatedly asked her to have dinner and meet with him outside of scheduled work events during a conference in Atlanta. Also in 2025, the employee says Maduco sent texts about her appearance and sexuality and often, quote, referred to her jokingly as a nun and sent photos of the desert to support his comments. Maduco became interim chancellor in July 2025 after Chancellor Terrence Chang stepped down after an audit found thousands of dollars in questionable spending. Records show he continued to text the employee about, quote, her rear end and wanting a painting of complainant's body in the office. She says he then texted an unprompted photo of himself in his underwear. In February 2026, while picking up food, Maduco texted her saying, are you on the menu? Oops, I mean, are there curly fries on the menu? Some of the other text messages are too explicit for air, including texts sent last month where Maduco makes references to pleasuring himself, according to the employee. In a statement, the Board of Regents said in part, this type of alleged behavior is unacceptable and inconsistent with our values, and it will not be tolerated within our system. The board has launched an independent review into the allegations, they said. The review will also look at other CSCU practices and policies. Maduco resigned days after the investigation was launched, writing in a resignation letter that, quote, this decision reflects what is right for my family and for me at this time. We will have much more information at 6. Your chief investigative reporter, Sam Smink, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, Sam, thank you. Turning now to campaign